Alright, this week's Steven Universe reviews, we're gonna get 3 in 1 just to make it easy. First episode is about Steven and the mayor. Basically, the Gems are worried about Peridot and them coming. They're kind of trying to create this device to basically like stop her ship. And well, it kind of short circuits and falls apart. So, oh well. So they, whole thing short circuits and falls apart, and it knocks out power all over town. Next morning, Mayor Dewey comes, is like, hey, knocked out power over town. Is this coming back? And Pearl's really bad at like making him feel confident that it's coming back. She's like, I don't know, maybe never. Which I think Pearl is just doesn't give a shit, because like I think she had to know the power was coming back on at some point, but she just did not give a shit about whether it did or didn't. So she was just kind of like, whatever, do it. She didn't. But Steven goes around trying to help gain confidence in the town with Mayor Dewey that the power is coming back on. And he realizes that Mayor Dewey's kind of lying to the town, telling him, oh, the power is going to come back on tonight. And Steven feels really bad about it. Mayor Dewey kind of has a like politician attitude of like, oh, it's better that the people don't panic or whatever. The way he explains it is poor. But you can tell his heart is in the right place, where this dude is trying to protect the people of Beach City, make them less fearful of what's going on, and kind of keep them calm. Because it's kind of a crisis situation, right? The town obviously needs power to run everything and, their businesses. So, however long they don't have power, it's not just hard for their daily lives, it's also hard because that's how they run their businesses. So, it's hard. But, Steven starts to see what's going on and realizes what's going on, in that the Gems are doing the same thing with him. They are trying to protect him by lying to him, keeping him under wraps, but finally Steven confronts the Gems at the episode and goes, yeah, we're scared. And they admit to Steven that they've been scared this whole time. And they realize they're going to have to work to deal with this all together, which they immediately go back on in the next episode. I joke a little bit, but in this episode, Pearl and, well, not Pearl, the Gems see the ship coming, Peridot ship. They evacuate all of Beach City and they send Steven with them. And Steven doesn't understand the full validity of the situation, of course. So Greg's freaking out. He's in the van with Steven, freaking out, being like, and admits to Steven, the Gems invaded Earth. And he doesn't really shy away from, yes, they invaded Earth. Like, there is no if and buts about it. They invaded the planet. And they feel really guilty about it. And really, Greg's right that the Gems should have told him this, but they didn't, because they don't want him to think of them like that. But the Gems work to, and then so Greg's way of recounting some of the war stories makes Steven realize they need a shield. So he goes back, stands tall with the Gems, and they all get clobbered. Garnet gets destabilized, and very scary image there, with Garnet like looking backwards like, oh shit. And then Steven gets clopped right in the head. Jasper is one of the Gems that we meet here in the scene, and she clearly is just fucking done with this shit. And when she realizes that Steven has his Rose's shield, she immediately recognizes it and is ready to just clobber their ass. Next episode, the Gems, Steven gets out of his cell, realizing, because he's part human, that the, I guess, cell field, whatever you call it, doesn't really work on him. So he gets out, meets this Gem, Ruby, who's looking for this Gem, Sapphire, and we realize it's Garnet, which a lot of people have theorized that Garnet was a fusion. it's pretty much confirmed last episode when they poofed and there was 2 gems instead of just 1. But now we get the official confirmation. Garnet has a great song, Stronger Than You. Everybody loves that song, who loves the show. Beats Jasper, takes down the whole ship, and then they get home. And Jasper and Lapis fuse to take down the gems, but Lapis sinks Jasper into the ocean. I kind of hate that subplot because I think that it is like, I got what they were going for, but it's just kind of shitty how the gems don't treat it like an immediate threat as soon as this is over. Like, yo, did you not just see what just happened here? But whatever. It's a good episode that I think is really great. I like these townie episodes. I wish these townie episodes had been closer to what these episodes feel like, because these first 2 episodes focus more on the townspeople, like evacuating the city or losing power and things like that. But they don't really focus on the townspeople in an annoying way, where the way they do it is effective, where they take Steven's human life and apply it as a metaphor to what he's going on with the gems. And that is the correct way to write something like this. We should not have episodes of him hanging out with Mr. Smiley or whatever. I like those characters, they're fine, but god damn, like, we had too much of that shit, and some of them were just not good. And this is just a clever way of doing it. I'm like, why couldn't we have this every time? I don't know, but we didn't, and it sucks, and I love this I love the way they went about it, but it is still pretty flawed.